Hello friend, it's pleasure to have you back on the channel of Clinical Care Insight. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the neurodegenerative disorders. Okay. So in this lecture series, we will discuss about the neurodegenerative disorder. Okay. Under the neurodegenerative disorder, there are so many diseases, but for sake of our own syllabus, we will discuss about the two major neurodegenerative disorder. The first one is called as the Alzheimer disease, which we will cover in our today's lecture, and in another lecture we will discuss about the another topic, okay, that is called as the Parkinson disorder, or also called as the Parkinson's like syndrome. Fine, no problem. So here is the lecture outline. First we will discuss about the introductory part, what actually is the neurodegenerative disorder. Then we will discuss about the classification, okay, and among the classification we will pick up the one disease, the first disease, that is called as the Alzheimer's, okay, and we will discuss the Alzheimer disease under the subheading of pathophysiology, their biomarkers, their management with the future scope. Okay, so let's start to understand what actually is the neurodegenerative disorder. You might have the idea about the neurodegenerative disorders. If you split the word neurodegenerative, you will end up with the two words. The first one is called as the neuro, okay, the another word is the degeneration, is the degeneration. Now the neuro word implies the neurons, okay, it implies the neurons, and the degeneration means atrophy. Degeneration means atrophy, okay, degeneration means atrophy. Now atrophy is a kind of cell death. It's actually kind of cell death, okay, it's a cell death. See, the actual meaning of cell death is the apoptosis, okay. The actual terminology which we are referring in the medical literature is the apoptosis, but this apoptosis is a sequential phase, okay, and the end result is the cell death. Fine. So whenever degenerations occurs in the neurons, okay, it will result into the atrophy of neuron, okay, and eventually the neuron will die. Now you know that neuron is performing the major function in our body. We have the so many cells, okay, and neuron is one of them, which is like a controller. You know that we have a different system in our body, okay, we have the different system in our body, and each system performing the different function, but we need one controller. So nervous system is the one who control all the system, okay, and the fundamental cell of the nervous system is our neuron. So if the neuron degenerate, okay, if neuron start dying, okay, the consequences is felt all over the body. The consequences will felt in the all over the body. Fine. So basically when neurons degenerate, we have the cognitive abnormalities. Now, what I mean by the cognitive abnormalities? Cognitive abnormalities, okay, it means there is a loss of memory. Okay, what are the cognitive functions? We have the memory, okay, we have language, fine. Apart from that, we have the thinking capability, okay, abstract thinking. We are performing the multitask, okay. So whenever neuron degenerate, that end up with the result of cognitive abnormalities, and it can be in the form of memory loss. Okay, it can be the memory loss or the language disorder. Okay, apart from that, we are calling behavioral problem, like patient develop the psychotic condition. Fine. So if you pay the attention, then you understand that this neurodegenerative disorder is basically the disorder of the neuron, first of all. Second thing is, when neurons degenerate, it affects our cognitive capability, cognitive function, which result into the memory loss, the language disorder, as well as the behavioral problem. Now, these neurodegenerative disorders, they are, you can say, most of the neurodegenerative disorders are genetic. Okay? If we take the example, then the majority of the neurodegenerative disorder is the genetic. It's a genetic. Now, some of the neurodegenerative disorders, they occur sporadically. They occur sporadically. Sporadically means this genetics implies the family history. Means whenever you come across the neurodegenerative disorders, you have to take the history of a patient, because history play a huge role in the diagnosis as well as the management of neurodegenerative disorders. Got it? Now, coming to the sporadically. Sporadically means it is the uncertain. It's occur in unpatterned way. Okay, there's no any pattern, regardless of the time, regardless of the place. It can occur in any age. Okay, that's why it is called as the sporadically diseases. Now, as I said, if you're taking the sporadically example, then this neurodegenerative disorders is occur in the late phase of our life. Okay, late phase of life in person 60s, okay, or 70s. Okay, so this is the time period when this neurodegenerative disease occurs in the sporadically. But genetic, it can be occur in the children. Okay, children can become the victim of this neurodegenerative disorder. Okay, genetic is uncertain. Fine. Now, these genetic disorders, okay, genetic neurodegenerative disorder, it can be both autosomal as well as the recessive. Autosomal and recessive. It can be both the autosomal, okay, and recessive. Recessive. Got it? No problem. Now, coming to another point about the neurodegenerative disorder. These neurodegenerative disorders, it's affect mainly the one specific part in the brain region. Okay, let me repeat it. This neurodegenerative disorders, it is not a like a spreading disorder. It's affect only a specific part. Okay, a specific anatomical location is only affect in the brain region. Okay, so this neurodegenerative disease, if we're talking about their spreadness, their location, then it is a specific in nature. It is a specific in nature, or you can say specific in origin. Got it? No problem. Now, modern research shows that most of the neurodegenerative disorders, it's occurred just because of the protein abnormalities. Okay? It's occurred because of the protein abnormalities. Protein abnormalities. No problem. And apart from that, you know that the protein is a functional, you can say the biochemical agent in our body. It's a functional biochemical agent, and if the protein become abnormal, okay, it result into the abnormal function in our body. So if we're talking about the management of neurodegenerative disorder, then most of the neurodegenerative disorders, they are managed symptomatically. There's no any permanent cure for the neurodegenerative. There are some neurodegenerative disorders, okay, where you can sustain, okay, sustain the progression of disease, fine, but you cannot reverse back in the normal state. Are you guys understanding? Okay, so the thing is, there is a symptomatical management. Symptomatical management. Now we will talk about the classification. As per our syllabus, there are two diseases which we have to discuss, okay, which we will cover in a 2 lecture. First, today we will discuss about the Alzheimer's, okay, also called as the Alzheimer disease. Alzheimer's disease, okay, and another one is the Parkinson disorder, Parkinson disease. Parkinson disease. Got it? No problem. So let's just quickly summarize what we have studied and move forward and understand about the Alzheimer. So basically we discussed here now that the neurodegenerative disorder is basically a degeneration of the neuron. Okay, maybe it can be the neuronal cell body or the cell processes. Got it? Now the another thing is about the neurodegenerative disorder is that most of the neurodegenerative disorders are genetically in nature. Okay, or it can be the autosomal and recessive, both the form, and some of them are the sporadically, means they can born without any time, without any limits. Got it? No problem. Now then we understand that these neurodegenerative disorder, they are not you can say spread. They're not spread. They only affect the specific region of our brain. So they are specific in origin, and the protein abnormalities are there. Okay, and if you're talking about the management of these diseases, then we have the drugs which manage the symptoms, Okay, so there is a symptomatic management, and if we're talking about the classification, so basically classification depends upon which area is affected in the brain. Okay, but according to our syllabus, we will discuss the two diseases. The first one is called as the Alzheimer disease. Another one is called as the Parkinson disease. Got it? No problem. And neurodegenerative disorders previously got one tag, one hallmark, and that tag is called the disease without etiology, where the etiology is unknown. Fine? The etiology means the cause. Etiology is unknown. Got it? No problem. Now, let's move forward and discuss about the Alzheimer's in detail.